Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to Saturday Night Showdown, brought to you by World of Podcasts. Pretty excited. This is what I like to call our technical alpha of our Saturday Night Showdown, as it is the first time we're trying this out. Going to see how it works and make improvements and come back week after week. I was able to wrangle a co-host / co-caster with me. It's Will from D20Crit.com and a bit of Geek and Nerdery. Say hello to everybody, Will.
What up, guys? How you doing?
So, Will, you excited to watch some Hearthstone action tonight?
I am absolutely pumped for this. This is going to be something of a epic showdown to kickstart this beta test.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be an excellent time. And in our top hexagon from the Nexus Podcast, and you know, I kind of have to say this. I've introduced him like this for about 28 episodes now. A Lord-loving, time-altering nerd, David Troy.
Hey, you know, I'm thrilled to be here. I'm thrilled to be playing Road today. He's a guy that, you know, I've really looked up to as a podcaster far before I was podcasting. And, this is a guy who's, like, you know, been in All Things Azeroth, been in Realm Maintenance. Really, really thrilled to be playing with him. And, you know, I really did my best to, like, you know, try and train for it. Did a lot of montages, you know, painted an orphanage, learned karate, you know, did a yacht race. And, you know, none of that had to do anything with Hearthstone. So I'm probably still a big underdog right now.
And the mountain of a man. No, me and Dave were talking about how he is the Viper and Ro is now the mountain in this this matchup. So, like Dave said, he's going against Ro from Realm Podcast.
Hello. All I have to wonder, I'm wondering, David, did you catch a fly with chopsticks during this montage?
No, I didn't. That's what's like really, really got me scared right now.
That might put you at a disadvantage.
It does have me at a big disadvantage. And, you know, I'm not going to go, if you're the mountain and I'm the Viper, even if I'm winning, I'm not going to go anywhere near you because I value my eyes and my skull.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely thrilled to be on this first test run of the Saturday Night Showdown, and thank you again for having me on. And I'm ready to have fun, hopefully kick some butt and not get so much butt kicked.
Okay, so a quick rundown of the rules. It's a best of 5 matchup where each of our contestants have picked 3 decks, and you know, they'll each play their first deck. As their deck loses, it will get retired, and they have to move on from there. Loser of the first match obviously gets to pick between the 2 that he has left, and loser if the other person loses, same thing. Both Brillaan and Ro have decided that if they win, they will be coming back next week to face a unknown opponent. I know it, but you don't. So
it's Ben Brode.
Man, if it was, I think we'd get a couple more people in on here to watch it. No, no, we appreciate everyone who comes on down. So without further ado, we're going to get this kicked off. So if you guys don't mind, drop your ears so you don't hear me, and we're going to get right into our first match.
All right.
Okay, so while they're getting ready, we're just going to make a couple quick announcements. So for those of you who do not know, World of Podcast will be going, I say live, but I guess it's in person, so it's obviously live, on November 6th, 2014, the Thursday before BlizzCon. You'll be able to see me and Will, if I remember correctly. Right, Will?
That's correct. Absolutely there. You bet it.
Mm-hmm. It'll be a great time. The doors will open at 6:30 p.m. at the Hilton in Anaheim, which is really cool because it's right near the convention center. We're all going to be hanging out and basically having a great time. And they are, you know, the partners with Ask Mr. Robot this year and sponsored by Open Raid. So, Will, have you seen either David or Ro play any Hearthstone? I know I really haven't, so I feel underprepared for this.
No, I have not. I don't know anything about their decks. I don't know anything about their play style. If they like to go big and go home, or if they like to whittle away with their minions, we shall see. This is new to me.
Mm-hmm. And this is also for everyone who knows. It's my alpha of shoutcasting Hearthstone, so I'm going to be pretty bad at this. I'm not going to lie.
I've been calling soccer matches this past couple of weeks with the World Cup, so I've got no experience with the Hearthstone match.
Yeah. So people out there, be kind. We're gonna do our best. Let's see. How was everything going in their screens?
I see.
We see Brillaan. We're waiting for Brillaan to accept the challenge. I wonder if he realizes that the challenge is there.
Let's have a look here.
Yeah.
Does his feet die?
Yeah, both their feeds should be good right now. I'm going to go head over to the Realm Podcast one. I don't know how much of a delay difference we have here. See, this is why it's a technical alpha. We're learning all this on the fly as people are watching. So it looks like Ro is going to be going with his Paladin deck. And Brillaan is weird. I guess we'll see. So it's going to be Paladin versus Hunter. Let's see. Now, Will, have you had any experience with either the Paladin or the Hunter decks in Heroes of the Storm?
In Hearthstone?
Oh yeah! Wow.
Yes. My Hunter deck is based around based around the Beast Mastery for sure, maximized on that. And my Paladin deck, I've actually just got the Paladin Legendary, and I really am a Divine Shield build.
Mm-hmm. So
this is looking like something like that.
Yeah. So oddly enough, I do have everyone a little mess up will go here as I'm looking at. Yeah, it's a Shakadan build is what he's going for.
Fantastic! Yeah.
So Brillaan kind of starts out quick with his a leprous gnome. We're gonna just kind of get into this match a little bit. We're still having a little bit of problem with the feed from David. It's still kind of at a standstill, a little frozen. Okay. Sorry guys, we're trying to figure out what's going on. And my one way of getting a hold of him is dead. So Will, is this kind of a normal start for that Paladin deck?
It is, and I think that a high card coming out this early on is a little bit unfortunate for Ro, but he wants to have some lower cards to build up. So he's controlling it right now. I actually can't see Brillaan's feed from the back end here, so I'll be interested to see. Ideally, what he wants to do is get that Divine Shield off and burn those two guys down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Ro kind of helped him out there by attacking the Leprous Gnome, taking a little bit of damage. I see the best we have for Brill in terms of knowledge is we do know he likes his Black Temple back at this point. I'm going to, just so you guys know, those who are watching the stream, in a moment we're going to not see our competitors for just a moment as I let Brillaan know we cannot see what is going on for him. Okay, so we're going to bring that back together. So David, he did bring out his bow. I know I play a little bit of Hunter, and I play really like a secret-heavy Hunter. So with that bow, it's super important to make sure you get some secrets out early. I tend not to play it myself until after I have a secret out, because, you never know what's going to happen where if you have to use attack or you don't want that durability to really go away.
No.
Too early in the game, because that's a solid amount of 3 damage, kind of leading up, and with the number of secrets that a Hunter has, it's super important. I mean, I tend to have pretty much every Hunter secret available, because I don't know, I think that's the most fun gameplay for me when I'm playing my Hunter.
I think you see the great thing about we've got that little annoying gnome who pops out and throws out that 1 damage. He needs to be taken down pretty quick, because it's amazing how much that 1 little can whittle away. Mm-hmm. And so here we're hoping for an instant charge. I think he'll take him to the direction of that annoying little gnome. At least that's what I'd be doing right now.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm trying to think. So, as we're trying to kind of fill this and see what's going on, I'm just trying to figure out, are me and you at the same spot in the feed? That's what I want to kind of figure out right now. Because right now I'm seeing we have Brillaan, has this hunter. He has nothing in front of him. He's playing his animal companion card, and he's pulled, I think, the second charging boar right now.
We must be slightly out of sync.
So, no wonder. I'm like, I am so confused what you're talking about right now. So, Brillaan has got him down to 15. He pulls out the steady shot. I'm curious if he's going to go straight to the face with his boar. And it looks like that is exactly what he plans on doing. He's going to have to, or Ro is going to have to kind of take care of that boar as quick as possible because he's down to 11 life. That's 4, and with the bow, that's 3. So it's actually down to like 7 damage. So if that boar doesn't get taken out this turn, I think Brillaan has a chance at really kind of finishing this game off. Okay. So, like I said, Ro did go ahead and take out that boar. It can't be too much of unexpected at this point.
I'm trying to see here if I can just get my feed to match up with yours.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's as off as it is because I think you're probably, 10, 15 seconds behind me?
Yeah, that's not good news for someone who's trying to cast.
No, it's not. So Brillaan again pulls out 2 charges actually here as 2 Bluegill warriors hit the field. He hits him with his heroic ability for 2 damage, and he's gonna go after. Ooh, is he gonna go for the face? He's gonna go for. I don't even know. So he goes to the face with both Bluegills, bringing Ro down to 5 health. So that means on the board right now. He's going to use his eagle horn bow to bring him down to 2. And he does have lethal on the field, except he just, needs his turn to come beforehand. So I really, right now, if we could see Brillaan's hand like I expected, any type of, anything with charge right now would really kind of give him the win, I believe, here.
Mm.
Trying to get a hold of Brill to let him know to restart that stream because I'm really curious at this point what he does have. So he's thinking. Ro's got his serious face on right now. He consecrates the ground to deal damage and to get rid of those pesky murlocs.
Okay, so we're in a different place because I've seen the game end. I know how the game ends.
You know how the game ends? So
I know how the game ends.
So why don't you let me know how the game ends?
Well,
no, I'm just kidding.
It's an epic ending. I can tell you that much.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna assume by what I see is Brillaan's gonna steady shot him to the face. That's my guess. And that is in fact what happened. So that was actually a well played game by both players. Brillaan was able to kind of go straight to the face of Ro a little bit better, a little quicker. So Ro's gonna go ahead and bring in his rogue to get it going.
So now, do you know what this rogue deck is going to be?
The Cold Light Rogue deck.
Okay.
Man, I don't know. Trying to figure out exactly what is going on with this because it's messing up just a little bit on the stream. So that should be better.
Technical alpha talk. I see my Brillaan is actually showing the previous game still.
Yeah, his is.
Okay. It's like off by about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know. It just started now. So we're going to kind of stick it to Ro's point of view.
Yep, that sounds good. All right, so.
It's kind of that's like a super delay, and I'm not sure exactly why we're getting that. So.
See, that's always a beast of a move there. That what just happened there on his rogue. I don't know where you are, but he just pulled out the twin combo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're a little bit ahead of me, so don't don't feel bad kind of foreshadowing a little bit. I think you probably have about 10 seconds on me, so
I can make some predictions in a bit,
Yeah.
and they can be like, this guy really knows what he's talking about.
that's perfect. Actually, I think that works out best for us right now. Oh, man. So Brillaan kind of has the same exact start as he had before. Leprous Gnome out. Ro was able to really start off super strong, getting pretty much the Defiance Brotherhood all onto the table at one time. What so have you played a rogue deck yet again? My strong decks I find are Hunter and Shaman and Warlock. So have you had a lot of practice with the rogue or no?
I actually, Rogue is my Rouge. Rouge is my least played. Rogue is my least played class, but I thoroughly love it. I just have not had the cards drop for me to be able to really enjoy it to its max capacity. I'm a Warlock and a Druid build primarily, and backup Priest. And I'm actually loving my Priest. I'm sort of playing around with the Shadow side for lulz more than anything else right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it looks like Brillaan is pretty much playing almost the exact same hand that he had before, bringing out those animal companions. He has, the bear out front. He's got some, tank ability from him, but the Arcane Golem is obviously going to just take quick work of that, and Ro's just going to start going right after him.
Now, when you play, do you tend to? What do you like to focus on most? I'm going to deal with minions, or are you going to go straight to the face? Because it looks like Brillaan here is. He often goes for the face as much as he can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It looks like they're both kind of. Brill's definitely doing that. I tend to clear the board. I'd rather go for a kind of more drawn out game personally, because I feel like I have a little more control on what's going on. Now, this is very charge-heavy aggro deck on Brill's part. I feel like not much in his hand doesn't have charge, which,
right.
That might be, like I said, a John Madden quote at that point where you're really just stating the obvious. It's like, next thing you know, we're going to be like, in order for Brill to win this game, he's going to have to do 23 more damage. So... Ro is definitely kind of keeping board control, making sure he has more creatures on the board than Brill, and that's what's going to win him the game, I think, at this point. Any predictions on your end from the future?
I really think he's got to make a decision about if he's going to throw, if Ro's going to throw some poison on that weapon. It's always a tough call when you're using the base weapon. If you throw poison on it, that's 3 damage. Or do you wait for the next turn to see if you actually you pull out a weapon to get that up to 5? I think it's a big decision he's got to make.
Mm-hmm. And he has to figure out how he's going to deal with the lion, because he's got to get rid of it. Hyenas are going to come out, so it's going to take a lot for him to get rid of that in terms of just pure mana cost of creatures and possible life on his end.
Yeah, and it's all about, at that point, it's all about, do you have any minions that can silence that, can control that down? And I don't believe his deck does, at which point it's best to almost ignore. And the dangerous side is if that creature gets thrown into a taunt mode, really asking for trouble at that point, because then he has to deal with it. So do you ignore it while you can, or do you not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you could run into Brillaan having the Houndmaster.
Mm-hmm.
That would be very detrimental to Ro at this point. I feel like you give taunt and a buff to this lion, and he has to throw all the cards at him right now. Putting out a secret, I'm like, I wish I knew what it was, because it's there at this point. Okay.
I think at this point it's got to be dealt with, though. It's going to get buffed up by a wolf, and at that point, 7 damage. It needs to be dealt with pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you figure, what's that? 2 turns and 2 turns and 2 more turns, I should say, and Ro's done. That's 14 life there and 2 for the steady shot.
Yep.
So there's I don't know if you're watching the feed, but Ro sure has got that death stare right now, which well, I'm going to attribute to a camera being frozen instead of just a pure concentration.
It's got to be that. It's kind of as ultimate. That should be his avatar.
Yes. Man, it's just so. I need to work out a few things in terms of being able to contact people during the match. I think that's something I didn't kind of think ahead. Which, because I have some people kind of messaging me try to get things fixed, and I'm like, I can't really talk because my phone's dead and I can't get into Skype without screwing up the feed. So that's definitely something we're going to kind of improve for the next showdown.
That's what this beta testing is all about.
Exactly. It's technical alpha. Get it right.
I wouldn't have just got in from Target too. Next time I'll be more prepared.
Yeah, I think next time a good idea, and we want some feedback. So you can send us the feedback to geekofrandom@gmail.com. Tell us what you think we need to fix. One thing that I'm kind of making sure I'm going to fix for the next one is I think I'm going to make sure I pull the decks ahead of time. They kind of give me their decks, this morning. I think I'll do something like 2 days ahead. Just so that way I can kind of really look into them, maybe even pull deck lists.
That'd be good because I can start to number crunch and look at some probabilities of what's coming up and what's where it'll be going to. So that all comes in handy. And there's a secret. The secrets are always rough.
Mm-hmm. And have you seen the Rocketeer yet?
Yeah.
Coming from the future.
That's Rocketeer's doing its thing, but.
Mm-hmm. So we have Ro down to 1 health on my screen. It is his turn. He's gonna, probably clear out some stuff in his hand, but I think Brillaan's got this with his steady shot, just kind of waiting. Oop, the secret. Oop, 2 damage to all enemies, and Ro goes down without the steady shot.
Yeah.
Man, this Hunter deck is doing really well for David. I really wish I could see his side of the battle at this point.
His avatar's moved into a slightly more smug appeal. Yeah. There we go. So it's less of a death stare, more of a here we go. Mm-hmm. I can start on the scotch now.
So here we go. This is game 3 now. We do have David up 2-0 with his Hunter deck. Now, this is really a setup for a comeback, wouldn't you say?
Oh, this is what it's all about. Right now, it's these precautions to the wind. You're gonna time to not smack some shit out of stuff.
Oh, Ro just turned on his microphone. We're hearing it straight from the, I'd say from the field. We have the laughs and the sigh. I feel like we have like a on-field reporter right now. Let's see, a lot of high mana for Ro in his hand. He's going to have to mulligan something, I think, to get early cards. Now, is it me, or has Brillaan kind of gone first in both these matches?
Sorry, what was that question?
I said, is it me, or Brillaan's been kind of, going first each time?
It feels like he's had the upper hand, so to speak. So, yeah.
So, the funny thing is, it's I think Ro has his mic on. I don't know if you can hear us or not. But you could hear the audible sigh when Cenarius came, when he mulliganed the imp or cultist. I can't think of the name of the card. I hate that when I can't think of it. Oh man.
Now, when you play you play Druid?
No, not really. I just never got lucky. I mean, I have Cenarius, but that's pretty much it in terms of good Druid cards in my hand. Or in my hand.
My Druid build, I don't know if you've got an idea of what this is like, but my Druid build is all about spell damage. I'm just letting a secret out, the cat out of the bag right here, right now.
This is a token Druid.
Okay.
So, he's going to be really focused on, getting tokens out on the field. Let's go ahead. Leper Gnome, first move again. I think card draw has been really important for Brillaan here. He's been able to get the Leper Gnomes out early, and, if, his luck still fits, next up he's going to have an animal companion,
What are you seeing right now? just out of curiosity.
Oh, I just saw an imp come out onto the field.
Okay.
Because you're like, man, I know what's next.
Don't want to spoil it for you, but
The worst part is if it wouldn't be so bad if they were talking from the future, or if everyone else was seeing from the future what we were seeing.
right.
But you don't want to spoil it for everybody out there, so you're like waiting for it to happen on my end, so you can really kind of point out. So we got a steady shot out there, so we're not going to see that animal companion, and we're going to see the leper gnome go after Malfurion, and is it going to end his turn? That's the question. Yes, with 2 mana remaining.
It's really important to deal with those leper gnomes. The longer you leave them out there, that's always an extra 2 damage that's going to be done. So, if at a point of sacrificing one of your minions, it's worthwhile doing it in my mind.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, because at some point you're going to be taking 2 damage no matter what. I think he pretty much was just waiting for the imp to take care of him. Because if he uses the imp to clear out the leper gnome, at least he knows another imp is coming right after. I think Ro's still in a pretty good spot with taking these, getting these imps out there. He's able to deal with some of the, the creatures that Bro's been putting out early in all of his matches. So, this deck might be a little bit better handled or suited to deal with this hunter deck.
I think the card that would really suit Ro right now would be if you could get the Treant card. That will lead to real domination.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Brill taking out the imp. I'm kind of curious why he would go after the imp and maybe not the thing that creates imps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I personally would get rid of that because you're just going to get another imp, another damage. It's the same amount of damage would have been dealt to the Rhino either way, but you're getting rid of a stronger card. So I think it might have been a little bit of a misplay, especially now that we have some taunt out there on the field in terms of the Defender of Argus getting placed. So let's see what maybe Brill has some plans out there. I would hope so.
I hope so too.
Let me take everyone. We're going to take a quick swap over to Brill's and let's see if we got maybe caught up. Nope, we still have a Hunter Rogue matchup over there, so we'll kind of go back.
And yes, I am in the chat, by the way, Zia, just in case you're wondering. I'm on the demo shout. Just letting it out there right now. People might be wondering what that's about. She'll know what that's about. So back to the game, and it's looking very dominant right now from Ro's side.
Mm-hmm.
In the future. This is Brill's going to have to start pulling out his Death Steer look again, because that was clearly working the last 2 matches.
Yeah, now that Ro is moving his face around, he's doing a little better.
Unleash the hounds.
He's unleashing the hounds.
Okay.
It's so funny to hear Ro. I think he can't hear us, but we can hear him. I think we might have to do that from now on. I kind of think it's interesting to kind of hear what they're thinking about out loud.
Yeah.
So we're waiting on Brill here to make his move. I don't know if there's much that can really save him from this onslaught of creatures. Anything you can think of that might be able to help him? Maybe a secret, the fire trap?
Yeah, I think really, you got to think AoE at this point, and that's all you can hope for when you've got so much stacked against you. But the problem is, Ro could start pulling out cards that will only end up affecting him in the long run. So, yeah, it's a tough call. What do you do? I really think that Brill's actually got his back to the wall here, despite there being very little difference in their health. I think Ro might have this one.
Yep. If we kind of take a look at the different things. So if you look at hand advantage, right now it's going to Ro. Was it almost a 2-to-1, a little bit more than a 2-to-1 hand advantage?
Yep.
Board advantage goes to Ro as well at this point because he has more minions out and they're stronger minions too. So Ro can use an imp to get rid of that the Timberwolf and then the Buzzard is weaker. So right at this moment, I think he's winning on all fronts. I think And
I think
the funny thing is, as I'm talking about what is on the board, Ro gets rid of him. So I'm like, you knew that already.
I was going to say this just goes to evidence of why you've got to get rid of that Imp Master very quickly. The damage that an Imp can get up, particularly on a deck like the Druid deck, where you can just get so many crazy buffs. You've got to deal with it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like we said, if he would have used that Rhino to get rid of the Imp Master rather than the Imp, that it's a different game, because when he buffed all his minions, you would have had one less Imp on the field at that time, possibly two, and here at the end he had two Imps still alive waiting to smack some face. So we're waiting on Brillaan right now. Of course, I can't see what he's playing. I know what he has in his hand. I don't know what type of deck, because I didn't get the name of the deck. That's something I want to make sure I do in the future as well. But we have a Shaman Druid. I do love the Shaman deck. I like how it's very explosive with Bloodlust at the end. I enjoy knowing that at any point you can win the game, really, if you have enough totems and everything on the field. What do you think of a Shaman deck?
Played right, they're devastating, and you can have a game over by fourth or fifth turn. You can, if the card's full right, it's one of the most devastating decks for sure. But Ro here, I've just seen from the future that he's putting out a Leroy Jenkins. What do you think about that card?
About Leroy?
Yeah,
I think it works perfect in this deck. It's bring out. I'm like saying, yeah. It's funny. I'm like a lot of times I feel like I'm stating the obvious. It's a token druid deck. You want more creatures out there. So something like a Leroy Jenkins this early really just kind of sets the pace. If you know what I mean, it really gets you going in the correct direction. If you pull, too many cards that aren't bringing out these tokens, then you're almost doomed from the start.
Yeah.
We had a good luck from Al the Mage over to Ro. I'm sure you've already seen that coming. And the Monty Berserker is going to get taken care of. That's a good move. Get rid of that 2/3 with the Enrage. Ooh, David is reacting. Oh my God, look at that. He looks serious now. I
feel like Brillaan's actually learned the error of his ways here, and is really focusing on taking out. Maybe he's listening into the cast here, but taking out as much as he can from this deck. I feel like a little bit more control is going on, but again, that's a good way that the Shaman works.
Yeah, so you're getting he's gonna have or I'm gonna assume that he's gonna have Lightning Storm, stuff like that in his deck, which will work really well getting rid of the little tokens that we're gonna see at some point in this matchup. So here's a quick question. You're saying you're from the future. Has he already played his Leroy Jenkins in the future?
I don't believe he has. No, Leroy is still listening to the statistics that is being spewed to him right now.
Okay. I was making sure, because he drew it right after you said it. I'm like, oh man, he's going to play it right away. And here he is sitting on it. I'm like, man, the future might be wrong.
No, the future is right. He's sitting on it. He just hasn't played it. As soon as it came out, it just made me think about that card.
Oh, there's the Lightning Storm. Am I in the future now?
No, I saw the Lightning Storm.
Yeah,
we're good.
No, I meant I called the Lightning Storm.
Oh, yeah.
So I was talking about the Lightning Storm, and it almost seems like probably for you it almost happened right after.
I actually just thought. No, I was still slightly ahead at that point.
Yeah, I think from now on I'm just going to call you the Doctor, and we can leave it at that. So let's kind of talk a little bit about what's in Ro's hand. He's still sitting on that Imp Master, Leroy Jenkins, so he's got a lot of tokens that can get brought out. What is it? He has Swipe, so he's going to be able to kind of clear the board a little bit when he needs to. Man, I cannot see the name of that card. What was it? The Keeper of the Secret or Keeper of the Grove?
Keeper of the Grove, I think.
Yeah.
And I we've had that Lightning Storm. Now is almost like a much better place to be able bring out that Imp Master. That's always when you bring out the Imp Master, and you want to build like you did in the last game. You have to build out those 3 minions that you're getting each turn.
Mm-hmm.
And you haven't got to worry about that. One of those AoEs is dealt with, so he can press on. But it's when Brillaan pulls out the what's the wolf card where you get the twin taunt?
Oh, the Feral Spirit.
Oh, that would be just terrible at this point.
Oh, I feel as though you're trying to talk as if you're not in the future. That was perfect timing. It's like you're watching me from behind and calling what's coming up because you know it's there. Man, I like this. It's a little more fun to have someone from the future telling me what's going on.
I've been trying to work out doing the math. 99.9% reoccurring chance of if I could get that right. And but Leroy is still in the hand in the future here.
1 Leroy hand is better than 2 in the bush, though. No, I'm just kidding.
It's John Madden's in the room.
Yep. So here we go. I think we're going to start seeing Ro really kind of start taking it to Brillaan at this point. Because over the next 2 turns, he's just going to start pumping out these tokens, I think. Next turn, he's going to pull out... this is my prediction, and you might already see this. I think we're going to see Leroy and the Imp Master get taken out. He has enough mana for them both, so we'll see.
Now, I haven't actually seen any minions played that have silence. Now, what's your thoughts on the silence card? Overrated, or have I just? I don't tend to play with them myself, but I tend to encounter a lot of people who do.
Mm-hmm. I always have 1 card with silence if I can in my deck. More than likely because I live in constant fear of Ragnaros because I raided Molten Core, and I don't like that. So I like to have at least 1 silence because silence is a very quick way to deal with like really good abilities because obviously there's some really strong abilities out there. Yep. You can't always deal with say the creature. It's not always worth it to maybe trade for a creature just to get rid of an ability, but if you have 1 silent, or like the owl, for example, you get silence and a creature on the board. Yeah. Kind of double dip it there. So I always make sure that I have 1 kind of ready for it.
See, now, at this point, I think, in his hand, he's got 2 Imp Masters, so he's going to play 1 soon. Because, that you get to a point of you have too many minions on the board and it becomes a waste, and you don't want to do that. So you play them early, and hopefully you can get some damage in before they move on.
Mm-hmm. So it's fun. No, I think someone's making fun of me for saying silence on Ragnaros. I don't know if that's. I'm just kind of messing around a lot of times when I talk about stuff. I'm not the expert Hearthstone player. Right now, if I say something and it's completely off, it could be them just. Thinking of something funny to say because I think so. So, Rhett, if that is a bad move, just let me know and I will never say that again. Let's see what's kind of going on here. Yeah, he's gonna give his minions +1/+1. It seems to be what he likes to do.
I tend to table flip when I face Ragnos. Plug pull, just run away.
Oh man!
I tell you what would be brutal though. With all of these cards out, Brill's only played 1 of the lightning strikes. Mm-hmm. If he plays a second now, that could really bring it down. So that would be a actually killer place to play it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is where you want to, obviously where you want to play that. When he has a full board and kind of make him angry. I like to be impartial. There's a lightning storm. I like to be impartial, but. What was I going to say? I like to stay impartial. So what? I don't want to say I'm rooting for somebody in this game, but I'd really like a game 5. Honestly, I love a good game 5.
Oh, for sure. I think everybody wants it to extend at this point. Why not? Get to hang out with this awesome crew in the chat room.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the chat room. It's great. We have a decent number of people. We got like 10 people hanging out, watching them play, listening to like probably the worst commentary ever on my part. And
I know, and mine too. I just bought it. I bought a new computer and I just built it yesterday, and I haven't even connected up my proper mic, so I probably sound very tinny and echoey, and I do apologize for that.
Okay. You got a new mic? What kind of mic?
No. I'm just running off the webcam mic. I haven't plugged in. My gorgeous, deep, sexy, makes my voice sound good mic is just not been plugged into this new machine yet. It's the new computer, and I've not had a chance to connect everything.
Got it.
So, but I think now we're at a point where we've had 2 lightning strikes out on the board, and so we're going to see a lot of minions put out, and Brillaan's going to be in a very tough spot.
Mm-hmm. Especially now at this point, we're going to get 2 imps out per turn. Ro's really going to be able to sacrifice him as he wants.
Yep. Rhett, I would just say, Rhett just in the chat room saying if you silence Rags, then he can actually attack, and that hurts. And I could see it being useful if he was a hunter, or anything that can reduce its health to 1. So you could then take it out very quickly too. So with a silence and a takeout, that would probably be a good time to silence Rags.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, though, if you're going to take him down to 1 and kill him, might as well not waste your silence.
I hadn't thought about that. That's a good point. This is why I don't play Rags. This is why I table flip.
Yeah.
Then also going back to what we said earlier, taking 8 damage randomly. If you're going to take 8, let's just take it and deal with it, and suck it up, buttercup type thing. So I do think we're going to see Leroy Jenkins played very soon on the stream.
The future. You're like Johnny Carson. You're holding the card to your head, and you're like, the future says Leroy Jenkins. We got a little bit of a hand rub from Ro, so we were able to hear that. I think we know what's going to happen in the near future, even though I'm in the right time, because I think Ro's a little happier than he was a moment ago in the random hearing that I'm hearing.
Warlock. He's going to play Warlock.
And Ro is calling the Warlock deck.
Wow.
I think everybody knows what's going to happen now.
I know. I don't know. I think it's not a Warlock, because Ro was like...
This is going to be a beautiful game. That's all I can say.
I think for the next time, I think I'm also going to have either an iPad or Hearthstone open so I can message them in game and be like, just so you know, your mic's open, guys. So we have we're now at game 5, everybody. It's 2-2. Brillaan came out with a strong beginning as he actually went up 2-0, and it's funny, before the match I was saying how I love to see a good comeback, and Ro's trying to set it up. Now we have a kind of a mirror match here. We have a Druid versus Druid. Ro with its token Druid. Brillaan just told me Druid. I should have asked him what kind, so that way we could start making some speculations here. Ro's going to mulligan 2, and this, if I remember, if my count's correct, this is the first time Ro's been able to go first.
Let's go with that.
Let's go with that. It seems about right. It's not completely wrong.
It's either right or half right.
Well, or 3/4 right, because I know Brillaan went 3 times first. Now Ro has some heavy mana in his hand. 4 mana cards. This is going to give Brillaan, depending on what he has in hand, kind of a good head start on this game.
Yeah.
So, let's see.
And you've got to remember, having 4 in your hand, that you're still only going to play 1 at turn 4. Right. So, it's not that you can just start cranking them out, 2 or 3 out at turn 4, unless you can pull something else out in your cards in the meantime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's not going to play the defender at this point. No. You need 2 on the board before you're going to do that. Swipe, probably not going to be a good choice at this time. So it's going to be one of those, you can call those violet, I can't think of what they're called. I'm doing horrible, guys. I apologize for not knowing the name of every single card. So we got the Panther. Usually, so this is something interesting. So he gets the Panther out. In his token deck, I think this is actually kind of kind of a weakness. Not weakness, but what's the term? Like it's going to hurt him in the long run. You know, short-term gain to get the Panther out there. Long-term loss where when he gets those tons of minions out there like he's been doing, he's not going to be able to give them all +1/+1.
Right.
Another 4-mana card with swipe, not what he's expecting. I think right now this Yeti definitely is going to control the game.
He's got to deal with that. The Yeti's going to be dealt with
right now. Yeah. I just noticed the wrath in his hand.
And I think, you know, getting that free card by dealing with the Yeti, right, is worth taking some damage to.
That was amazing timing, I'm going to add. Man, we're getting this down. So he dealt with the Yeti. You had to get that out of there. Otherwise, he's going to see problems later on. Getting the draw the card is what he needed. More 4-mana cards, probably not what he wanted. But, you know, with 6 4-mana cards in his hand, at least he knows he can play 1 every turn at this point.
That's correct, yep.
It just really...
But it only, from the future, it only gets worse.
The Boulder Fist Ogre. That is definitely worse. You know, I love pulling out a Boulder Fist on that turn. You know, it's a turn early. You know, it's going to be hard for him to deal with it with just 5 mana and not be able to really attack with anything. You know Brillaan's going to at least get 1 good attack in with that. He scratches his head a little bit, kind of thinking. Man,
Treant is all you can be hoping for to really put the pressure on and keep Rose's hand well and truly off the minions, well and truly off the board. Stack his hand up, and it's. I think at this point, Brilliant's probably thinking, you know, he's not playing cards, so he's got high cards.
Yes, you know, in terms of just kind of general Hearthstone talk, as we see Brillaan use the Force of Nature to get rid of the creature on the board. I was super disappointed personally because I went and I played, you know, last season, so last month, I didn't have a lot of time for Hearthstone. I jumped in, played it until I got to what I thought was level 20. I missed it by 1 star, and I didn't realize it until after the season ended, and I didn't get my Black Temple back, so I was kind of upset with that. Yeah, that was the one back I wanted. This month, I don't know. I need to get there. Like, I'm like, here I am saying I didn't even get to level 20 last time, so, like, that just shows... I play a lot more casual. I like Arena. It's kind of my mode of choice right now. Because I kind of like kind of randomly just putting together a deck. That's like my favorite part of the game is building a deck, honestly.
I've really enjoyed. I was level 15 this month so far, so I know that I'm in the clear. I really would like to try and break into the top 10. That's my plan before the end of the month, but we shall see. It's I seem to, you know, 3 steps forward and 15 back sometimes.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I really go on these like crazy like win streaks, and then I go on these crazy lose streaks. So anytime I've gotten to like a level, you know, 14, 13, I always just like drop right back down.
You know, Rose's got a real problem. He's got to deal with this Boulder Fist, and I think he's kind of wondering how on earth he's going to pull it off. It's going to get tricky.
Yep, boom. I was waiting for that because I knew that was coming. He hits him with the Boulder Fist, brings him down to 16. You know, Rose, I mean, at this point he has Force of Nature in his hand. I feel like he really is going to have to, like, use it. Like, he's got to get rid of that Boulder Fist. That Boulder Fist is going to do enough damage, really, just to take him out in the near future.
Has to be dealt with. And what would be your weapon of choice?
Yep.
You mean to get rid of the Boulder Fist?
Yeah.
So, I'm like, what's he doing right now? I'm like trying to see, because he's in the middle of casting. So he swipes him. So what I was thinking is, you're gonna want to swipe him. He's gonna double swipe him here, obviously, and then just get him down. You know, I feel like you knew what was gonna happen, so it threw me off. I'm like I could be wrong here. So I don't want to say the wrong thing because you'll be like, I knew all along.
I was trying to set you up. I'm trying to guess where your stream is. I was trying to set you up to be able to call it as it was happening.
Yeah, yep. I see like Joe Brewer, and he was calling for a Force 3 and Savage roar. So that's kind of what he's calling. We got swiped to clear the board, and kind of back at stage 1 with a Leper Gnome. It's interesting because the Leper Gnome's been very effective for Brillaan throughout this matchup.
Roldo has really got his back to the wall at this point. He's health wise, he's at near a third of what Brillaan is, and I always get worried when I'm under 10. I always get worried because you get one of those really unfortunate legendaries pop out, and you're done for. So it's all about. I don't know if any of these guys have got any heals in their deck.
Yeah, I don't think so. For for druids who have a decent number of heals, or a decent strength heal in their deck, I feel like neither of them have it. I don't think it really fits with the deck builds that I'm seeing here.
Right.
That being said, it's sometimes you sneak them in there just because they're not going to expect it.
Yeah, I always like to keep one on hand with any of my classes that can heal. Outside of the priest, who's just obviously got it inbuilt, I always try to have one heal on hand. And in fact, my paladin's deck has got a couple of minions now that throw out a pretty decent sized heal, which is always nice.
So we got the divine shield to charge out there. He's gonna clear him out with with his heroic ability. No reason to completely lose your minion to one guy. I'm like trying to think what would I do in Ro's spot right now. I think he has to kind of get control of the board, get more minions out. I think Force of Nature might work. Because if he Forces of Nature and then clears out the one minion out there, he can at least do kind of a double taunt,
right,
with his Defender of Argus that he has in his hand again. So we'll see. He's gonna summon a Panther.
See, I would have been taking out the charge.
Yeah.
For 4 damage, I've got 9 health at that point. It's all trouble, and he's if he's already played one Boulder Fist Ogre, I swear he could pull out a second one at any point, and that's just at that point you're up the creek without a paddle or with an ogre chasing down after you.
Innervate would be so good right now.
Ro's hoping on an Innervate in my year. So
in the future, he's hoping on an Innervate right now.
Yeah, he was asking for it. We have a swipe, start clearing the board out a little bit, and the Boulder Fist Ogre gets dropped.
I called it.
You called it, man. People need to start listening to you because you know what's going on.
I just crunch those numbers.
The percentages are with you, man. So what I know you're in the future. You can't be too much in the future. I say make your call for who's going to win this match now.
Okay, I really think that Brill is going to have it. But having said that, having just watched what's happening before me, I could be very wrong. So
so even being in the future, you said Brill, and you still might be wrong.
I said Brill, and you asked me at a very unfortunate time, and you'll see what happens in the future of what was that unfortunate time.
It's interesting.
It's going to be close.
That's the thing with time travel is it's really
don't
hard
give
to
it
deal
taunt.
with.
Don't give it taunt.
I hear some pleading going on right now.
Yeah, he's pleading to the gods that the taunt does not occur. So let's, I'll kind of give you an idea of where we stand. We have one defender on the field for Ro. We have Ro counting.
6,
right,
8,
can I mute
9.
him?
There we go.
Yeah, he just stopped. Why won't it let me mute him? Anyways, so we see that Brillaan has nothing on the field for me, but he does have,
1,
at
2,
this
3,
point,
4, 5,
5 cards or
6,
4 cards
7,
in his
8,
hand.
9.
There's some serious number crunching going on now. So I'm curious as to what are you seeing right now?
So we see 2 berserkers on the field brought out by Brillaan. It's funny because we are seeing a slight delay between what they're playing and their reactions. So it is interesting you almost get a hint of what's gonna be coming. I don't know. Like, my prediction is, man, this is tough because I think Brillaan definitely has kind of the lead in all the categories, but you never know what's going to happen in this game. You could top deck a card that just kind of fixes everything.
Right.
The Berserkers do have a lot of health. So
No!
I don't think he has anything that can really deal with it in hand.
No.
And someone is pleading right now.
Yes, I think we've kind of given away that Rose pleading, saying no. He does have Brill down to 3 now, which I did not see coming not too long ago.
Yeah, I don't see that coming either. But I tell you what, it's when he pulls out the next couple of cards.
I'm assuming you mean Brill.
When Brilliant pulls out the next, when Brilliant pulls out the next couple of cards, we will catch up with why Ro is crying right now.
I know. Oh man, it is very interesting because I think Ro is probably able to hear us now, and he's given away the ending because we could hear him for the last match, and now he knows. Ooh, so and now the nail in the coffin is coming. Ro gets to relive the loss. And that's Brill. Brill has won it. So Brillaan has kind of stepped back for a minute.
He's actually run around the street, I think.
He's probably if I know him, he's running around naked outside in Toronto.
There's no greater city to run around naked in.
Yeah,
just saying.
Exactly. So
that was a close game.
Yeah, bro. So coming from your angle, so just so you know, we did have a few technical difficulties.
Okay.
Brill's stream was so far behind; it was like 20 minutes behind, so we got to watch you the whole time.
Okay.
So it wasn't too bad. Will got to kind of watch from the future, as he was about 20 to 30 seconds ahead of me, making calls like it was his job.
Right.
So, Ro, how do you feel about the matchup as a whole?
The first two games were just horrible because I wasn't expecting to see a hunter, especially in the first game. It kind of like the way the whole meta has been when I've been playing on the ladder and stuff. I haven't run into many hunters to begin with, so that was kind of a surprise. I wasn't expecting it, and I had some bad mulligans and draws on both Paladin and Rogue, and then went down 0-2. Mm-hmm. And then the epic comeback started being mounted and made a match out of it. and then Druid versus Druid. I was totally expecting to see like Warlock or something. I was expecting to run into Handlock or Zoolock or something, and no, it's Druid versus Druid. It didn't end it didn't end at all how I expected it would. Mm-hmm. I mean, I thought going into this, after that first game, I thought, oh man, he's going to 3-0 me.
It was funny because we're doing commentary. You're a little bit ahead of what everyone's seeing, obviously, because I'm pulling the stream off. And every now and then we just get these sighs from you. And one time you're like, oh, he's going to play Warlock. So it was actually kind of interesting. I'm like, I almost feel like we should have this all the time. Like we have on the field reporting. So that was one thing that me and Will had noticed a bunch of times was like your mulligans just couldn't get any less lucky. Like
I mulliganed into Cenarius. I'm like, oh god.
Mulligan into Cenarius, and then you mulligan into having 4 mana cards into your hand.
Yeah.
We were just oh, this is tough. It's gonna give Brilla.
I mean, I was hoping for Innervate, Wrath, something in a 2 or a 3, and I just get 3 4s. I'm like,
But it only got worse from there because the next card you pulled out was a 4, the next one was a 2, and then the next 2 after that were 4s or above. So you're back to the wall at that point.
Yeah, and I mean it's a typical token druid deck. It was really, I mean, the curve isn't that bad on it. I just had some unfortunate draws there, but I mean, even all that aside though, I thought that last game, that 5th game was a real nail biter, and I was really hoping he didn't have double savage at the end.
it was real funny because
and I was just praying for, okay, all I need is Leroy or Wrath, because I mean it seemed kind of ballsy for me to go all aggressive like that at the end, but I'm thinking, well, the only way I'm going to win this is the top deck on the next turn, so I take him down to 3 and hope for a Wrath or a Leroy or something.
Well, yeah. What was funny is so I said to Will, I'm like, okay, we're gonna call winners here. Will, call who you think are gonna win, and I'm like, you can even use your future advantage. He's like, oh, I'm gonna call Brill, and then he goes, oh no. Wait till you see what happens in about 20 seconds, and that's when you really kind of went at him hard. So it was super interesting. So David, or Brill, we have you back. From what we have decided, you went for some Victory Canadian bacon.
Yes, I did. I had a bit of bacon. Yeah, sorry, Ro, man, that was awesome. That was like the best
good game, man.
Hearthstone I've ever played. You
awesome.
Totally deserve to win. As well.
Hey,
we should tie.
You played a great game, and you played that hunter deck the first 2 games amazingly well. I couldn't get a break, and that fifth game, that final game, made it all worth it. I mean the first 2, luck was on your side on some of it. Yeah. The second 2, I had the right draws, and the fifth game was great though. It was a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was fun.
Ro, what was the worst of the decks that you had to play that you had to face when you saw the cards come out, you saw who you was playing, you're like, oh, which game were you like, oh no, this is not what I want to be facing right now?
Well, the funny thing is that I kind of like my strongest deck is the Shaman deck, which did nothing. And my second strongest deck is the Druid. So I kind of threw the Hunter out there to kind of test the waters and see, how whatever Ro's deck was. And it actually worked out pretty good. I mean, I did get really lucky. I got pretty lucky in terms of the draws. There was I think only one that really didn't work out that great, which was actually the end game, the Druid game. But luckily I got some innervates and things like that actually made it work out. But I mean, I think everything kind of a lot of things worked out good for me. I mean, the Hunter deck worked out way better than I expected. I expected it to just kind of be, throw it out there and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Kind of test the waters, get an inside scoop on what kind of deck he has, and then pull out which one you think is going to be able to counter it, kind of, right?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, that was the idea. It was essentially like, let's see what kind of aggro. I mean, to be honest, even my Druid and my Shaman decks are kind of aggro. Like, they're not as slow as most Druid and Shaman decks are. So I kind of wanted to see what was out there, but luckily it kind of worked out for me. I mean, the Hunter deck it was the underdog deck that helped me out a ton. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it was a lot of luck too, because I got some good draws, and it sounds like Ro, didn't get the best mulligans.
It's so funny in a game where, there's legendaries and you want to play these legendary cards, and you see one come and you're actually kind of upset.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, man, I think I got the legendary. Oh no.
They need to design a legendary. Whenever they design a new legendary, they need to design this legendary that's like a 7, 8, or 9 casting cost that has in its text, reshuffle this into your deck if you draw it, like a free mulligan legendary.
Yeah.
Like I mean, the interesting thing was I didn't see a lot of legendaries from either of us really in all 5 games, right? I pulled off a lot
in my Druid. Yeah, I mean, I run Leroy in pretty much all 3 of those decks. Obviously, I don't have a ton of legendaries. I decided against running Ragnaros in my Paladin deck for a time. I'd been playing it in there just as like a backup in case of emergency thing. But no, for the most part, it was Leroy and Cenarius in the Druid deck, and that's really about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I run Rag in both my Druid and my Shaman, and I run Nixia in my Shaman and Cenarius in the Druid, and we did not see a lot of legendaries.
Yeah, didn't see much played. Yeah. So I want to thank you guys both for coming. We'll see Brill next week as we have another person for him to fight against. Ro, we're gonna.
Yep, good luck, man.
Yeah, we're gonna be tapping you in.
Hey, man, Ro, I want to play you again.
Rematch.
Well, you got my battle tag now, so you can rematch me again sometime.
Mm-hmm. And we'll we're gonna be doing this every week. I'm hoping actually to.
That was fun.
Sorry. I'm hoping actually to maybe once we start getting enough people interested, kind of bringing in 2 matches a night. Man, this was so much fun, and it can only get better. That's my feeling. We can get better. We can only get better from here in terms of my quality, and man, we're gonna have to see you guys go up head to head soon because now you guys know each other in terms of what you're going to bring out. So it could be just completely
the grudge
different.
has begun.
Yeah, that's it.
We're going
to playing some heavy death metal music, and we're ready to go.
Yeah. So the only question is, who becomes the heel? Does Ro take the defeat and just become evil and angry, or does David let it get to his head? We'll find out in another episode.
Dun, dun, dun.
Thanks again for everyone for coming, for listening. We're going to upload this up to YouTube so you can rewatch our epic matchup. We want to thank World of Podcast for letting us put this on their stream, and we're going to be back next week. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, have a great night.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
See ya.
See ya.